All right, troops. So today let's talk about Salvage Marines by Sean-Michael Argo. I'm doing this review now because I recently dropped a recap of the Salvage Marines TV series, and you guys showed up for it big time. So naturally, I had to go back to where it all started. And after reading it, let's just say, feels unpolished. That's the word. Yeah, it feels like it's Warhammer fanfic with grit, if that's even possible. You've got a galaxy where corporations own everything, your job, your debt, your education, and yep, even your death. Born poor. You die poorer, unless you take one desperate chance. Enter Samuel Heist, a factory worker, a new dad, and a man crushed under generational debt. He makes the ultimate trade-off, signs up to become a Salvage Marine, a grunt in armor sent into hostile territory, not to win glory, but to collect scrap for the company. Gun-toting garbage men fighting for scraps in a war-torn universe. It's not just Space Marines, it's blue-collar mercs, doing dangerous salvage work while dodging bullets, mutants, and rival corporations. You get gritty combat, high-stakes missions, and that boots-on-the-ground feel. There's tension, there's blood, and there's that slow realization that these Marines are basically meat for the corporate grinder. But, and it's a big but, that intensity sometimes works against it. We're talking mission, brief cooldown, next mission, over and over. And while that sounds exciting, there's not enough quiet to let the story breathe. Characters pop in, shoot a few rounds, maybe say something tough-sounding, and then they're gone. It's like playing a game where the cutscenes were skipped on purpose. The protagonist has a decent setup. Sam Heist is not a hero. He's just trying to survive and give his kid a future. But halfway through the book, even he starts to fade into the background. I don't usually say this, but yeah, he's a cardboard, all right. He's a bit too reactive, too introspective during gunfights, and not always someone you feel for. The writing is a mixed bag, too. There's a raw passion here, for sure. You can tell Argo loves this universe. Yeah, he's got something to say about capitalism, war, and humanity. And hey, the commentary on corporate tyranny? Pretty on point. You don't need a tinfoil hat to see the echoes of our world here. But the execution is rough. We're talking info dumps mid-battle, clunky dialogue, and sudden shifts in point of view. Some parts feel like a first draft. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first book he ever wrote. But it was published at a time when the military sci-fi landscape was hungry for content. So there you go. But is it terrible? No, just uneven. Think of it like this. You're on a janky ride. The frame's rusty, the shocks are busted, but it goes fast. It's loud, and when it works, it's a hell of a time. And then there's the Warhammer 40K thing. Let's be real. It's all over this book. From the structure of the Reapers to the grimdark aesthetic, this could easily pass as a Rogue Trader spin-off. Now, that's either a plus or a plagiarism flag, depending on how protective you are about your sci-fi franchises. But what actually kept me reading Salvage Marines and made parts of it genuinely enjoyable was the concept. I mean, the whole setup is just awesome. Soldiers who aren't out to win wars or take planets, but literally to scavenge battlefield junk for corporate profit. That's wild. The premise alone is enough to get you invested. Also, I gotta say, I dug the social commentary. It's not exactly subtle. The corporations are evil, everyone's in debt. You sell your soul for survival. But it works. The idea that your child can inherit your life debt? That's brutal. And maybe just a few steps removed from how things already feel for a lot of us. It grounds the book in this bleak realism that gives the action a little more weight. So yeah, the core idea of the action and the themes are solid. What's not solid? The characters. Or more accurately, the lack of them. Outside of Samuel, who's basically our corporate dystopia everyman, and maybe his buddy Ben, who gets some decent moments early on, the rest of the cast kind of blurs together. I kept waiting for someone to stand out, like to make me care when the bullets started flying. But nah, most of the Marines felt like background NPCs. You know the type. They exist to say one line, shoot a gun, and maybe die 2 pages later. Like I said, I feel this was a very early work of the author. There are clunky transitions, weird POV shifts mid-scene, and some awkward info dumps that just yank you out of the moment. 1 second you're in a firefight, the next you're in a philosophical monologue about corporate ethics, and not in a good Blade Runner way. It's like the book can't decide if it wants to blow stuff up or get deep. And instead of balancing the two, it just kind of smashes them together. And probably the biggest thing for me, it's repetitive. The structure is rinse and repeat. Gear up, drop in, chaos, get out. There's not much variation, and without deeper character arcs or world building between missions, it starts to feel thin. It's like you're just reading a series of disconnected levels in a video game. So yeah, Salvage Marines has some strong bones, but man, it needed more polish, more heart, and more reason to care about the people caught in the crossfire. The series is 8 books deep, so maybe that comes in later books, but in this first one, swing and miss. And there we have it, Salvage Marines by Sean-Michael Argo. A gritty gunmetal ride through a corporate dystopia where bullets are cheap, and your life is cheaper. Yeah, this book is like fast food military sci-fi. It's not fine dining. It's not going to win any awards for elegance. But if you're hungry for action, brutal capitalism, and grimdark space shooters, supersize me, baby. You'll probably have a decent time with this book. Just don't go in expecting deep characters or poetic storytelling. Would I recommend it? If you love military sci-fi, sure, give it a shot. If you're picky about prose and need emotional connection, maybe skip it. And if you're feeling generous, just watch the TV series. And if you really feel generous, please like and subscribe if you want to see more military sci-fi book reviews. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Burn bright and burn enough.